A very good day to you. I'm Hank Gross, MidHudsonNews.com. It's Friday, May 19th. The news today brought to you by the Galleria at Crystal Run. Assemblyman Brian Marr of Montgomery spent last week claiming that 20 veterans were kicked out of a hotel to make way for an influx of migrants being brought up from New York City. On Thursday afternoon, he admitted the whole situation was a series of lies. Last Friday, Marr teamed up with Sharon Tony Finch of the YIT Foundation, who told him that a number of veterans were being displaced as a result of arriving migrants. Together, the two began a campaign of denouncing the Crossroads Hotel in the town of Newburgh, where the veterans were allegedly staying. Tony Finch, the director of the YIT Foundation, said she had housed 20 veterans at Crossroads, but the homeless vets were told last Thursday night that they needed to check out on Friday. That has been denied by hotel management. Marr was steadfast in supporting Finch. Last Friday, he denounced the hotel by name and used the incident, debunked by Mid-Hudson News, to attack the federal government's management of the migrant asylum seeker crisis. He also used the false situation to introduce legislation to prohibit the displacement of homeless veterans to make way for migrants. According to a statement by Marr made to the Albany Times-Union last night, he was duped by Tony Finch regarding the whole situation. He claims that it wasn't until 3:15 on Thursday afternoon, after waiting 3 hours outside of a bank for Tony Finch to produce financial records of the hotel's stays, that he realized the whole situation was made up. Sullivan County was the recipient of its first busload of 80 asylum seekers from New York City yesterday. County Legislature Chairman Rob Doherty said the county was given less than 24 hours notice that they were coming. When they arrived a little after 5 p.m., they were dropped off at the Knights Inn in Liberty. While New York City is footing the bill for the migrants, Doherty says by being there, they're hurting the local economy.
In 1969, we had 71,000 hotel rooms. We have less than 2,000 now. The county's busier and busier every year. Tourism is taking off. We've invested heavily in tourism. And now we're losing bed space for people to come and stay during our peak season.
Activist Sandy Oxford said the community will help the newcomers as best they can.
We're going to put our best foot forward and try to lessen the stress and lessen the burden and help out the newcomer.
The chairman said the way New York City, the state and federal governments are approaching the issue is reckless and unsustainable. Affordable housing has been a priority since Jen Metzger became Ulster County executive at the beginning of the year. So now she has signed a law that makes affordable housing a public purpose and thus created the foundation for the county to develop, manage, and provide for this type of housing. The county executive made a presentation during a special meeting with the county legislature's Health and Human Services Committee yesterday and proposed creating a housing action fund, $15 million for initial funding from the county's surplus fund balance to help support new affordable housing with units that would only use renewable energy.
I am seeing every single day as county executive the crisis that we're in and, just how many people, hundreds of people, our Department of Social Services is trying to find emergency housing for. And what's scary is that there aren't the long-term permanent solutions. And, we are out of time. We can't just leave it to the market because the market isn't serving the need.
The county is in a strong fiscal position with a significant surplus, and it's coping with the housing market in the county with little inventory and many homes listing for more than $500,000, while rents have increased about 40% over the last 10 years. More news right after this.
Find over 100 retailers allowing you to spend hours shopping safely at the Galleria at Crystal Run. Enjoy the big brands and the diverse selection of family-owned stores all in one location. The Galleria at Crystal Run offers dining options for everyone with Fuji 110 Grill, Allen's Mediterranean Grill, and Peru Cuisine. Discover the Mid-Hudson Valley's premier shopping, dining, and entertainment destination, the Galleria at Crystal Run. For more information, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or visit GalleriaCrystalRun.com.
Darren Stridiron has been a thorn in the side of fellow Newburgh School Board members, challenging their decisions on a number of issues. Now he's locked in another controversy with the board. Stridiron's 7-year-old son is a nonverbal autistic child who he and his wife have been transporting daily to and from his school in Millbrook following a series of incidents on district buses. Stridiron submitted a bill for reimbursement for over $2,200 for mileage to transport Zach to and from school since March 13th. In a memo to the board members and superintendent of schools, the district's attorney David Shaw wrote that since Stridiron is a school board member, he can only receive a maximum of $750 toward transportation, as per state law. But Stridiron is challenging that ruling, saying federal law trumps the state law, and he believes there's a motive behind it.
It is clear that they are trying to get me to resign from the board for money, which is a definition of bribery.
Shaw wrote in his memo that to enter into a contract which exceeds the $750 would constitute a prohibited conflict of interest, making it necessary for the board member to discontinue service to the board. A Port Jervis woman was airlifted to Westchester Medical Center as a result of a fire that occurred in her home at 80 Kingston Avenue Thursday morning. An update on the victim's condition was not immediately available. No other individuals were reported injured as a result of the fire. Responders were dispatched to the blaze at around 10:30 a.m. Multiple phone calls had reported smoke and flames coming from the single-family home. Although the fire was quickly contained and seemed initially under control, it took additional time to extinguish flames that extended into the roofline of the house and to a rear addition. All Port Jervis units were on scene, along with neighboring departments and firefighters, until early in the afternoon. The cause of the blaze is under investigation. The parents of 16-month-old Acacia Lovert have been indicted by a Sullivan County grand jury in her death from fentanyl that she was exposed to by them at the Knights Inn Motel in Liberty, where the family was staying in early May. Acting District Attorney Brian Conity announced on Thursday that Acacia's mother, 26-year-old Lisa Kite, and father, 41-year-old Jimmy Lovert, are both charged with manslaughter and endangering the welfare of a child. Another of their young children was also injured but recovering. Connity's investigation found the children were under the supervision of Sullivan County's Child Protective Services, but he said the unit and the county attorney dropped the ball.
I learned that CPS had requested the removal of these children on 3 separate occasions. And when CPS brought these concerns to their legal branch, the county attorney's office, the county attorney himself, Mike McGuire, refused to institute removal proceedings as requested. It was further learned under his regime, he created a culture of widespread apathy that has discouraged the workers from bringing forth appropriate requests to remove children.
2 other people have been charged in connection with Acacia's death. Jacob McCoy, 41, was charged with drug possession for selling Jimmy Lovert the fentanyl that caused the child's death. Also charged 54-year-old Lisa Federico, Acacia's biological grandmother. A 36-year-old Beacon woman who was stopped on Route 9W North in Milton as she waited to turn into a parking lot to watch her 8-year-old son's baseball game was killed when another car rammed into the rear of hers at about 5:40 Tuesday afternoon, Marlborough Town Police said. While police did not release her name, a GoFundMe account identified the woman as Kaylin Toohey. Preliminary investigation determined a car driven by a 42-year-old Hopewell Junction woman collided into the rear of the Toohey vehicle, forcing the car into the opposite lane of traffic where it was struck by a tow truck. I'm Hank Gross, MidHudsonNews.com. The news today brought to you by the Galleria at Crystal Run.